Sunshine. This is Dr.Stacie NC Grant, and I'm excited to be back again as the celebrity MC for Who's the Boss? Women in the Black Conference. It's about reset for 2022. Who knew a global pandemic was going to come and totally terrorize the world? But we are still here. And as so many have transitioned during this time, we get to honor them by how we live. And this is a chance and an opportunity for women-owned businesses to thrive, to get back on their feet, to reset from everything that we've experienced. And this is what I do every day as the founder of Destiny Designers University. It's the only training and development platform for faithpreneurs. Faithpreneurs are faith-based professionals and faith-based business owners who build their companies with an integrity to God, standing on the cornerstone of faith. So, honey, if you never had faith before, you might need to use a little, especially in these times. And I'm excited to partner with my dear friend, Princess Jenkins, once again for this opportunity to pour back in when we've given so much out. So I'm thrilled that we're learning about finances, that we're hearing testimonies and stories from individuals who have achieved a certain level of success, but they tell you the truth. The moments when they fell on their face, like Jessica Spalding just shared from the Harlem Chocolate Factory. Shout out to the sister, bad to the bone, doing her thing. We have Health First, talking about all the ways in which you can make sure you and your employees are covered. We have Chase Bank, we have Carver Bank, looking at your financials. Right now, there's opportunity for you to become a minority women-owned business enterprise and how to compete for contracts and making the government your client. When I tell you everything is here, it's here. I'm MWBE. I also run CGE Unlimited that allows me the chance to do meeting facilitation and program development for my clients. I'm also the facilitator for the $19 billion redevelopment at JFK International Airport. And that's because I'm an MWBE, that I can work with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, our elected officials and terminal developers, and create legacy within the community that is affected by this redevelopment. So when I tell you, I'm not just talking about it, I'm living it. And I'm here not only to host this amazing event and to participate in all of the workshops, but to be an example for someone like you, that you just need a little bit more. It might be one little inch right before you hit goal. Just don't quit. Keep moving. If you know anything about my platform, I have a signature book called Action, Despite the Distraction. And here at the Who's the Boss Women's Conference, it's about reset, taking action, staying the course, because we are depending on you to succeed. Thanks for tuning in and stay connected, because next year is going to be even bigger, better, and more fabulous, because that's what we do. We improve, we scale, we grow, and then we return to invest in the next set of women business owners.
Wonderful. We are at this conference that Dr. Grant is hosting today, which is organized by Princess Jenkins, and together with the co-founder of Women in the Black, Pat Stevenson, who couldn't be here today, but this conference is going on and it is amazing.
Amazing. Okay. And Pat is an icon in the community. She has opened up so many opportunities for stories that would have never been told and access to being able to have that exposure. So Pat, we love you, and you are here with us all day, every day, because you're infused into every successful businesswoman, especially in the Republic of Harlem. So I thank you for tuning in to Harlem Portraits, for you to be able to see other examples of what's possible. That's the power of media, that we can share good news and make good news go viral. So stay connected. Tag a sister. Hit me on the gram. Dr.Stacie NC Grant. If you look for me on Instagram, it's STACIE. Don't put a Y on my name. I might pass out. NC Grant. I'm the only one on the planet. You can search me anywhere on Google or social media, and I'm here to serve you.
Thank you so much. Start again. We are still at the Women in the Black Conference, and we are talking with this beautiful and wonderful lady whose name is Jessica Spalding. She is the owner of the Harlem Chocolate Factory. She just spoke at the conference, and I had to have a talk with her, with you, my viewers of My Harlem Portraits and of Harlem News, because she has a very interesting story.
Yes. Hi, I'm Jessica. I grew up in a house where I couldn't eat chocolate, actually. Not because my mom gets upset because she's like, why do you tell people I didn't let you have anything? I was really allergic to things. And her and my father had met while he was working at a health food store. When he passed away, she wanted me to be raised how he wanted me to be raised. So she was just, there was no white sugar in our house, no processed foods, none of that. And definitely not any candy, but she loved chocolate. Like even her and my dad used to fight about it, but she only liked high quality chocolate. And when I realized like that was the only way for me to get anything sweet, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to work with the candies and work with the, you know, we did a lot of cooking together. It was always like this fun thing. But then when it came to dessert, it was like maybe a scoop of ice cream. And I'm like, you know, she might share a chocolate with me. So I was like, okay, well, if we're cooking, we can start to do these dessert recipes. And she saw my interest in it and started to take me to the Salon du Chocolat, and it was the world's biggest chocolate show, and it basically tours Europe and tours Asia, but didn't come to the U.S. And when I turned 10, they started to come to the United States. I know when I turned 11, and she took me. And we went, how they had it set up is, like, you know, you go through all the countries, and I'd go around tasting chocolates from, you know, England, Italy, France, Japan, India, everywhere. And it was, I mean, for me, it was just me trying to stuff you know, it's like the I Love Lucy episode. I'm just stuffing the chocolates in my mouth. But it was this cultural experience, and also this flavor experience that was so unique. And it was different from the food festivals, you know, like the food festivals, you know, where maybe you go to the food festival and they're doing ribs for the day, or they're doing steak, and there wasn't much cultural aspect to it. It was just all about the meat, and it was all about the food, or it was all about the potatoes, or it was all about the corn, you know, all the different food festivals.
The chocolate is real culture for each country.
Is real. There's every aspect that goes into the culture. So like the Italians do it one way, and the British do it another, and then the French. And I remember this Japanese company had these little green tea chocolates, and I was like 12. You know, I'm there just to eat the chocolates and, you know, taste everything sweet. But the packaging was Japanese, and like these, like it almost opened like origami, you know, and then the truffles were these really hard square cube truffles. And I didn't like the flavor because, again, I'm a 12-year-old and I'm not trying to taste the
green tea.
The balance of flavors. I just wanted something sugary, but I remember it being like the most Japanese experience I had ever had in my life at that time. And that just stuck with me. And it became the lens through which I saw chocolate as cultural experience. And that's what kind of laid the groundwork for Harlem Chocolate Factory, where we convey the cultural experiences of Harlem through chocolate. And every culture does that. We're just saying we do it.
Yes. And I love the story on how you got it, how you started, and tell the viewers how many obstacles you have to endure before you get your dream become reality, because that is very interesting.
It's so, there's so many, right? Like, hey, where to start? I think when you are, especially in our community, where unfortunately investments in, you know, in women-owned business or in black-owned businesses is not as strong as it's marketed, it's handled, right? There's this idea that when you're a black person or you're a black woman that you can just go into a bank and say, hey, this is the idea I have, and immediately everyone moves around you and supports you. And it's not like that at all, right? Like we had to fight for space. We had to fight for funding. Getting funded was extraordinarily difficult, especially like, it becomes this thing where, okay, well, how much money does your mom have? Or let me put your mother's house up as collateral. And I'm like, we live in New York, we're renting. We don't have collateral. Or is there another family member that can co-sign on a loan for you? And it's like, I'm the family member that helps my family when they get into things. So who's there to help me? But why are my business hopes and my business dreams not allowed to get supported because I don't come from a family of wealth?
Yeah.
And those are just some of the aspects. And even for myself, being rooted as a chocolatier. I've been working with chocolate since I was 9 years old. I have tempered chocolate on a table. I've tempered chocolate in a double boiler. I've tempered chocolate by hand. I've tempered chocolate in machines. But the first question I'm asked is, where did you go to culinary school? As if there's a culinary school with a specific chocolate program. Yes, I don't have pastry experience. I don't need pastry experience. I don't want to work with pastry. I want to work with chocolate only. And why is that any important? There are a whole bunch of self-taught chefs that have Michelin stars, that have all these accolades, but somehow when it comes to chocolate, now all of a sudden I need I need all the paperwork in the planet rather than just my experience to show for it. Put me in a room with anyone and I'm going to temper my chocolate by hand while they go to the machine to make it happen.
I don't even know what tempered means.
Yeah, so tempering is the process where chocolate is a very unique food, and tempering is the process that allows you to experience it at its highest quality. So it's when you have that really good snap and the chocolate melts at your internal body temperature, but it won't necessarily melt directly in your hand, right? Because the temper is in such a way where the crystals are solid and stable, and you get a great mouth feel and a great mouth experience when you're actually tasting the chocolate. Most people don't know you don't bite chocolate, you don't chew it. You savor it, but unfortunately, and that was the other element of it, is that most of the chocolate that Americans get known for is like crap, and so it becomes this like laughing stock. And I got this from going to all those salons of chocolat, like we're tasting chocolate from around the world, but when we cycle back to America, it wasn't really. Those places weren't really highlighted, right? The one place that got highlighted for chocolate in America was owned by a Frenchman, and so like the idea of American chocolate is just like,
I totally agree with you.
It's laughable, and so
it's
I sugar. And as someone who grew up unable to eat sugar, most of my recipe development goes with, unconsciously goes with me trying to avoid any added sugar. Choosing couvertures that had very limited sugar, enough to stabilize.
I'm gonna pay a visit to your store.
Yeah. Because I knew that was a flavor barrier, right? Yes. When you overwhelm the palate with any one flavor, you couldn't really taste it. And I love the idea that we are making a fine chocolate product and changing what people think American chocolates look like, right? Like this is not a Eurocentric store. It is an Afrocentric store, and the experience we are speaking of is Afrocentric as it relates to Harlem and the development of Black people. In Harlem, Harlem is a Black developed neighborhood, regardless of what's happened in gentrification. You cannot erase those ties.
The culture
can't be. And so speaking from that experience and then tying that with the fine chocolate product that is almost absolutely reserved for like a European moniker, it's important, and I love that.
I think it could be a reason because when I was in the European Parliament, I was following the Agricultural Committee. And Europe, the European Parliament and the Commission are those that make the rules also for this kind of products.
Yeah.
And one of the main reason to call a product chocolate, it has to have a certain percentage of cocoa in,
Yeah.
and not any other kind of fat.
Yeah.
And sugar. So
and it's not the same over here in the U.S.
No.
And so that's where, you know, I think American chocolates get a bad name because the snack products are being called chocolate.
Yeah.
And so when someone taste something, they're like, this is American chocolate, and I'm like, that's not American chocolate. Those are snack foods, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are snack foods. They're not chocolate. I think there's like some legal battles that are happening to get the term redefined, but and it was really, really, really important to me to never cross the line as it relates to like the quality, and keeping that at the forefront of like what we're doing, right? Because it's about the quality before anything else.
So to end this conversation, very sweet conversation, tell us, where is your store?
Yes. So our store is located at 2363 Adam Clayton Jr. Powell Boulevard between 138th and 139th Street on 7th Avenue. We're open from Friday to Sunday. Fridays and Saturdays we're open from 1 to 8, and Sundays from 12 to 4. You can also find us online at harlemchocolatefactory.com and on Instagram as Harlem Chocolate Factory. Instagram and Facebook as Harlem Chocolate Factory.
Thank you very much.
You.
I love this.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are at the Women in the Black, Who's the Boss conference, and we are here with one of the business women participating in this conference.
Okay, my name is Linda Mondesire, and my business is actually communicating just like yours. I am in the radio business. I am working with WHCR, and that's City College, and we have a show called Harlem 411, and we do exactly what you're doing, interview, and I have a small segment on thinking healthy thoughts. So I am actually here looking for people to interview, but I'm not interviewing like you're doing right now. I'm just going to do it later on and then submit it to our radio station.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing here. But formerly, I was a broadcaster for 22 years. I worked at, in the South, and I worked at D.C., Washington, D.C., DC 101, getting confused because I had about 10. And then I went into education. And then I'm back into radio on this level.
And I know that radio station is very good. I really love it. So we are going to be connected now.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
What do you think about this conference? I found it incredibly informative. Tell me what you thought about it until now.
It is beyond informative. It's helping these people really gain confidence. It's helping them by giving them information that they absolutely need. It's showing them people who have succeeded. And then there's a lot of networking going on where everybody is literally passing on information, passing on cards. So it's a networking ability, and it's really, really great. They fed us well.
Yes.
We ate well. It's just wonderful. I am totally enjoying it.
And Women in the Black is an organization that I belong to. I'm on the board of Women in the Black. And Princess Jenkins and Pat Stevenson, they are the founders, the co-founders. And it's really, the aim is really to help small business women, black women, but
Absolutely.
all women, not just black women, all women, to know what they're doing and to help them,
Absolutely.
to give them information about the
Yes.
grants and so on. So this is very good. Okay, thank you so much for being with us
You are
and
so
for this
welcome.
conference.
And good luck and, prosperity to you as well.
Thank you so much. We are sitting here at the Women in the Black Conference, and we are sitting with the founder of this amazing conference that has been going on for quite a few years, Princess Jenkins.
Over 2 decades.
Over 2 decades, okay? Over 2 decades. Princess Jenkins, who is also the owner of the Brownstone, a magnificent boutique store in Harlem. But let Princess tell us about the conference and about this young lady who is here with her.
Yeah, this is Princess Jenkins, and I'm the proud president of Women in the Black. And today we hosted our Who's the Boss Women's Business Conference at the Alhambra Ballroom. And the theme this year was reset. So we really went about topics and speakers who could speak to the reset that many business owners, particularly African American women business owners, had to go through during and after the pandemic. We talked about everything from brand building to marketing to social media to how fashion, art, and culture influences our businesses. We had our WNBE experts here. We had successful WNBEs here today and a host of women in different levels of their business. And at the end of the conference, I was approached by this young lady to tell me how she felt about the conference. And I was so moved by what she said that I wanted to introduce her today to you guys, because it was a tearful thank you and really heartfelt. And as you guys know, this is my heart work. I do it from my heart. So when she spoke to me, I just wanted her to share her interpretation of what the conference did for her today. So introduce yourself and your business and share what you can today.
Yes, hello, my name is Miranda, and my business is a natural hair company that I started about 6 weeks ago. And the name of the company is Karina Bay Rose, named after my 2 grandmothers. And I produce all of the natural products in the company. So I do all the oils I make myself. And I was inspired by COVID when we were on lockdown and everyone started the natural hair process, and you couldn't do anything. I started looking at YouTube. I started just researching and just putting everything together. And once I established this product, I used it on my nieces and myself, and my nieces were so overwhelmed by how it was treating their hair, and their hair was growing so fast, and they encouraged me to keep doing it, keep making it, and I did. And then it went on to other people in my immediate area around me. And
Tell us how you got to the conference today.
Oh my gosh, I met someone at one of the pop-ups, my second pop-up, and she inspired me to come. I wasn't going to come because I needed to work. My finances during this time of trying to pick back up from COVID, so I really needed to work, but she inspired me to come. And I am so grateful to be here today. The women that were here today who look like me, who are been through so much during this pandemic, and the pain that it has caused and everything, and for them to, the encouragement that they gave from the pain that they went through inspired me today. And I'm so grateful that I'm here, and I'm so grateful for your work, for doing this in our community, inspiring us to keep us going. It's just heartfelt. So I want to thank you from my heart. I want to thank everyone that I heard today. I want to thank Jessica for her uplifting and encouraging words. She inspired me so much. Like, you fall on your face in front of all of these people, and that gives you strength to pick yourself up and to keep going, because through that you find the strength you didn't know that you had. Through your roughest times. And that's what she brought out today for me. Through your roughest times, you find strength.
It's when you are in the valley, as they say, right? When you're in the valley, and somehow you find that strength to pick yourself up. And there's a brighter day and a dawn, right?
Yes.
But you need to hear that from people who have gone through it, because when you're in the dark, you can't see the
You
light.
cannot see it.
So they provide the light and a pathway, knowing that it's not going to be like this always, and that you will have a successful business, and that you've got downloaded a great idea that's going to make people's hair grow. They're going to be able to have a natural hairstyle. You named it after your two grandmothers, which is, totally encouraging and legacy building. And we want you to have a legacy business. We wanted to put all the information and the experts in the room today to give you information, advice, encouragement. We put banks in the room. We put nonprofit funders in the room today. We tried to put everything in your toolbox that you will need to help build and grow your business. And I just want to thank you for sharing today, because this is my heart work. I do it with all my heart. I think about every woman and where she is in business and how I can help her. So you're inspiring me to keep going. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you again for all the work that you do for us. I really mean that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You two make me tear up, because I felt exactly the same thing when she was talking. And I felt, oh my God, how much strength that one needs to have to go through all that, and then bounce back, and then show them. And then she won the prize that the guy was trying not. I mean, I was like, yes. And seeing you reacting in this way, and normally I should be talking in the camera, but today we are doing it this way. Seeing you reacting in this way makes me go back and feel what the princess is feeling now. When I was working in the European Parliament, my most rewarding moments was when I was talking and teaching to kids in school who didn't know what the European Parliament was about. Why was it so important to know about it? Because you have to know, because one day, if you're not going to vote, they're going to decide for you.
Yes.
So what you're feeling now, I know what you're feeling. Because this is rewarding. You know you're helping people. You know your work is useful.
The reward that you get from what you heard from all the women today, every experience, from saying, I don't know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to pick myself up during the COVID shutdown and lockdown, and what one woman said, we never experienced it before, so we didn't know how to react.
Yes.
And to come and see light afterwards is just inspirational, because you didn't know what the next person was feeling. All you felt was grief, pain, bewilderment, you didn't know.
We were all lost.
Dark.
The whole world was lost.
Dark, lost.
And
To see the whole New York City locked down.
Sure.
I even took a trip to 42nd Street so that I can see myself, what it was like in the Grand Central Station, and to see not one person move. And I videotaped it. I have that.
that's very
It
interesting.
was
Yeah, chilling.
very.
Yeah.
It was chilling. Yeah.
It
a
was
movie.
like after a,
It
yeah.
was like a movie. Like that Will Smith
Yes,
movie.
yes,
Up, Down.
yes.
Like what?
Yeah. Where's everybody at?
Where is
they gone?
everyone? In the
Exactly.
biggest city in the world,
Yeah.
and there's no one.
Well, that's why the reset was our theme this year, because we
Yeah.
knew that the time to pivot had come and gone. Now you have to actually reset your mind, reset your business, reset your standards of excellence so that you can continue to move and grow. So we hope that this conference has been helpful and a blessing to you, and I thank you for taking the time to talk about it with us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
This is beautiful. Thank you. This is a perfect ending to a perfect day. Thank you.